On this week's episode of My Views Extended, starting new holiday traditions, holiday vacations, Canadian and American stories in the news, favorite Christmas movies and songs, along with a holiday memory, and what I'm grateful for this week.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, would you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah.
Welcome back to My Views Extended. It's Christmas for many of you and for me, and this year things are going to be changed just a little bit. I think I mentioned it in earlier episodes that I moved with my sister and I. We moved from Ontario, Canada, to British Columbia, Canada. So this year we are away from family, at least my mom's side of the family. So we don't have any family gatherings or get-togethers to go to. So this year we wanted to try something a little bit different. We wanted to keep it relaxed, casual, be able to be in our pajamas if we wanted to, or just casual clothes. Don't have to worry about getting dressed up, having to get in the car, go on the highway, all that fun stuff that normally accompanies holidays when if you're not hosting it, you have to get out there and whether you want to or not, barring snow and ice on the roads. So this year we're probably going to go to a movie. Like, we're going to cook first, have everything in the oven ready and staying warm, and we're just going to go to the movies and then come back and just eat and be comfortable in lounge clothes or even putting on Christmas pajamas, and maybe have some wine or some cider and eat some more and watch some, and even though we're just coming back from a movie, which we're not sure what we're going to go see yet, and then maybe throw on another Christmas movie or another DVD or something and just relax and do something different. Now, I think if we had kids and partners, I think it would be a little different. Well, obviously it would be different because, you want to have that experience for your kids, and, you're dealing with in-laws and them wanting to see them or whatever, if you're wanting to host and all that fun stuff. So not saying that we're necessarily going to do the movie and keeping it chill and relaxed every year, but we wanted to just try something different, and this is a perfect opportunity to try something different, so why not? I do remember once when I was a teenager, I think I was like 15 or 16, I went to a movie on Christmas Day with one of my cousins and my uncle. I don't remember what the movie was called. I know it was an action movie. I want to say it was something with Tom Cruise, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, it was some kind of action movie, and it was just really fun to just go out and do something different. How many of you would love to do something different for the holiday, not just Christmas, but any holiday, instead of having to do the normal, traditional getting together with family? And if you love that, awesome, go for it. But if you wanted to do something different or just take a break from the craziness of the holidays, would you want to do it by yourself? Are you happy with where you are, spending it, the day or two with family, extended family, traveling? Or would you like to, whether you go by yourself or just a small group of people or a large group of people, would you like to go away for the Christmas holiday, go on a vacation? Actually, my sister and I were actually talking about that, for kind of planning next year Christmas to go away. And we did say that no matter where we are in the world, whether we're still living together or we're, a globe apart, that we were going to meet up someplace for Christmas. Our ideas, we're probably wanting to, well, right now, the possibilities of a Christmas vacation for 2016 are possibly Hawaii or New Zealand. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand, and I think that would be a perfect opportunity. And I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, which is really good because in December it shouldn't be quite so hot because I'm not really a fan of the heat at all. So it'll still be warm, but it won't be scorching hot like we're in the middle of July or August. I hope, but who knows with this global warming how it's going to be. So anyway, those two places are both on my vacation bucket list, and we'll see how it goes. But again, if we're planning that far in advance, we do have to make a decision now. And we are planning so far in advance because neither places are cheap to get to or to stay in. And we do want really nice accommodations. And plus, for me, I do need to find a really good cat sitter or a cat hotel for my cat Kai, because obviously she is important and I need to know that she's taken care of and that she's going to be comfortable and I'm comfortable with where she's staying or who is coming to stay and look after her. For those pet parents out there like myself, do you buy your pets Christmas presents or birthday presents? I know this may seem like an odd question if you don't have pets or if you don't have a person who loves pets and who loves their pets like their children, and do you buy Christmas presents for your pets, and do you tell people that you buy presents for your pets, or do you keep it a secret between you and your pet? Now, there's no need to be embarrassed because I do that. I buy Christmas presents and birthday presents for Kai, and it's twice a year. It's not that big of a deal, whether generally it's new toys or a special, more expensive treat. Sometimes it's like if it's coming up to, she needs a new cat tree or some kind of new bedding or a new collar, things like that. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think I'm ridiculous, but it's twice a year, and what's the big deal? It's your pet, it's your money, as long as you're not doing without. I say indulge them. I know they don't care. We are the ones who care, but it's cute, and it's, another excuse to wrap up some presents and add some gifts under the tree. So are you a person who buys Christmas presents for your pet? I just wanted to talk about something that's been happening in Canadian news. I've been following it for, it's over a year now, well over a year since I first heard about this case. And that is of the murder of Tina Fontaine. Her suspected murderer was arrested in the Vancouver, BC area this past week, and he is charged with second-degree murder of the then 15-year-old Tina Fontaine. She was from Winnipeg, Manitoba. As of today, I believe he's still in the Vancouver area, but they are waiting to send him back to Winnipeg, Manitoba. And apparently he's been a person of interest, and I'm not saying his name on purpose because I don't believe in saying the names of people who commit these disgusting crimes. And apparently he's been a person of interest since 2014. They found Tina's body August 17th, 2014, a few days after she was reported missing. And if I'm remembering correctly from the story, police actually stopped her in the car of a man and then let her and the man go in the car. So who knows if it was him? It probably allegedly was him. Who knows? She had had run away from her foster home, and I use that in quotes, which at the time was a hotel. And yeah, the police had an opportunity to get her back, but I think that was probably the last time she was spotted or reported that they had seen her. And then, of course, after they found her body on August 17th. And why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because, in general, and I say in general because obviously I care because I'm talking about it and I've spoken about it not just publicly but privately, because we as a country, we really don't care about Aboriginal women and children and people in general. When they go missing, when they are murdered, they are forgotten. They're usually forgotten long before they are missing, and that is the huge problem in this society. And that goes for so many Aboriginal societies around the globe. Tina Fontaine, she was one of many children that were overlooked in an unfortunately overtaxed foster care system. And I personally believe, this is just my belief, that the lack of care for her was made worse because she was Aboriginal and because she was deemed, and I use quotes, a problem child. Our former Prime Minister, I personally believe he just didn't care. He felt that we spent more than enough money looking into missing person cases, and he didn't want to spend any more money. To me, his interests and his care are in other things. I really don't think our former Prime Minister spent enough time dealing with the issues and problems that the Aboriginal community in Canada needed. I don't think there was enough help. I think there was, in certain cases, there's too much of let them deal with it themselves. And I think that attitude, leads to children falling through the cracks even more so than in kids, other non-Aboriginal kids in the foster care system. I just hope that our new Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, can do a better job. I know he has promised to do more to, look into missing cases and cold cases and just get things going with inquiries, and I hope that he keeps his promise, that it's not just words. Our former Prime Minister, Harper, he said, he's not spending any more time. And of course, even more so, his words, his lack of actions proved to me that he didn't care. I just hope that, this new Prime Minister definitely shows that he cares, implements, whether it's allocating money to different programs, to different inquiries, if you have to go a different route, if what you were doing and spending money on wasn't bringing out any results, let's try this avenue, but just don't stop trying. I think when you stop trying, that's showing that you don't care. If you don't have to spend money. I understand them not wanting to spend millions of dollars if something's not working, but use that money in other ways. Don't stop trying. I think I'm going to link an interview that I want you to see, and it was a 2014 interview with former Prime Minister Harper with Peter Mansbridge, and I'll actually put a link in the show notes and on my webpage so you can watch the interview for yourself and just see what I deem as lack of care and interest from him. I also wanted to talk about, let's go to underneath us, the former Oklahoma police officer, and again, I won't be speaking his name because why? He is he's convicted rather of rape and multiple sexual assault charges against multiple black women. I think it was 18 was the number. Mind you, there was multiple more that were he wasn't charged for anything against them. Sentencing is next month, January 2016. What this means to me, specifically as a black woman, that this is about black women. I don't want to necessarily always talk about race because it's tiring. It's exhausting. It hurts my heart to see and hear what happens to my brothers and sisters around the world, particularly in the US, because that's where so many of my news and entertainment sources come from. Now, I know that not all police officers are bad, but I know that the good ones will not publicly call out the bad ones. This Oklahoma police officer, former police officer, he is obviously a sick person, but not sick enough to deliberately seek out black women whom he felt had no voice. I'm so proud of them for speaking out, especially the first one, Janie Ligon, I believe, for breaking her silence, for going to the police after she was assaulted. And then, of course, so that started the investigation, so others spoke out and then spoke out and testified against him during this trial. It frustrates me and it hurts me because, and I'm speaking in general terms, in the world, black women, I feel, are not respected. We are at the bottom, probably, actually I should amend that, we're probably looked at with the same worth as Aboriginal women are looked at. We're all at the bottom. Black women we are not respected, we are not valued, and I'm just so proud of these women for speaking out and not just being quiet, not worrying about that people are going to judge them, that people are not going to believe them, that people are going to call them liars. I'm just so proud of them, and that just lets us know that we have to continue to respect ourselves, to value ourselves. We are worthy of respect, we are valuable, and listen, you're a good person or you're not. Let's just bring this right back around. You're a good person or you're not, and it shouldn't matter what your race is, what your gender is. You take everybody on a case-by-case basis, and until they give you something to make you have doubts or think badly about them, you just have to give people the benefit of the doubt, and just respect and value your fellow human being. I don't know if that's going to happen in this lifetime. I really honestly do feel that. Listen, I don't have self-esteem issues. I know that that I hold value in this world, that I'm worthy of respect. Don't get me wrong, I'm not like, oh, poor me. I know I'm a good person. But in general, I know how the world looks at us, and there's really not much you can do to tell me otherwise, because that's just how it is. We are worthy, and we will be heard. Plain and simple. Let's wrap this up on a lighter note. What are your favorite Christmas movies? My favorite Christmas movies are probably most versions of A Christmas Carol, animated or not. Some of the animated ones are pretty cheesy and really badly done, but I love A Christmas Carol. Pretty much any live one, with human beings. I like the one with, I think it's Walter, I want to say Walter A. Scott or Walter Scott or something. I like his version. That's a really good version. The animated ones, probably, I like one of the newer ones, the one with Jim Carrey. That's a really good animated version of one. There's another Christmas movie that I absolutely love. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie, but I did see it at Christmas time, and it's a really good Christmas memory that I have. It was Meet Me in St. Louis, and I remember that was a Christmas that we didn't go anywhere and we didn't have anybody over, and my stepdad was working that Christmas. He wasn't home, and it was just my mom and my sister and I, and we didn't do anything. We just like had dinner, and we just like went up to her room, and we just watched movies in my mom's bed all day, and we watched Meet Me in St. Louis, and it was snowing out, and I don't think the roads were bad, but it was just kind of snowing on and off all day, and it was just quiet, and it was just intimate, and it was just a perfect Christmas day that is in my memory. So even though Meet Me in St. Louis is not a Christmas movie, that probably is one of my favorite Christmas memories. And it's so neat as I'm talking about it, I'm actually remembering snippets of that day flashing in my head. Favorite Christmas songs, probably I don't really have a favorite I have several favorites. And that goes with anything in life. Probably my favorite Christmas song is Oh Holy Night. And I really love, I think it's Celine Dion. It's one of my favorite versions of it because I mean her voice is just a powerhouse. And Chestnuts Roasting Over an Open Fire. I really like the Nat King Cole version of that as well. In general, I prefer most of the traditional, I use quotes, traditional sounding recordings. Although some contemporary takes are good, but I'm really not into, putting a lot of like rock and roll or reggae or pop flavor on them. Whose album? Oh yeah, I really like, I guess for contemporary ones, takes on it and more poppy feels a little bit. I like Mariah Carey's version, and I mean she wrote her own Christmas song years ago. So, but in general, I prefer the traditional, Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole. I like that old school sound and feel. That's what I really love. I'm going to be doing something different. Well, not different, but new to this whole third episode of this podcast. And I'm going to do what am I grateful for in the past week. I also do this on my Facebook page. I don't get every day, but most days I get, what am I grateful for that day? And sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes it's really easy. Like, I'm grateful that I was able to, I don't know, help somebody with their groceries, or, I saw somebody falling and I caught them before they fell and cracked their head on the sidewalk. But sometimes it's really hard to pull because sometimes you're just busy and so you're not out and about and you're not with people, you're not interacting with people. So sometimes I have to really pull, and sometimes it's just like I'm grateful for my first cup of coffee turned out perfectly, the perfect ratio of cream and sugar and richness of the coffee. You get that perfect cup of coffee. So sometimes they're really simplistic. That's just how it is. So, but I do like to pull a grateful every day. I try, and I'm going to be doing that here and pulling this week I'm grateful for. For me, being grateful is a good reminder to be thankful for what I have and for who I have in my life. Sure, things could be better, and along with many of you are working on that every day, but finding something on a daily or weekly basis is just a good reminder that life has been worse, or it could be worse, and I'm just grateful for the blessing of being alive and being relatively healthy and having the opportunity to better myself and hopefully make, even if it's in a small way, make the world or somebody else's day better. So that is the reason why I do pull. That's why I try and pull a grateful at least once a week, but I try and do what I'm grateful for every day. This week, I'm grateful that I was able to get a sample for Kai. And a sample, I mean a number 1 sample that I had to take back to the vet for her. And I'm also grateful that I had the funds to pay for her test because she's having some crystals in her urine. So I'm grateful that I had the funds to pay for the test. and I'm grateful that she let me catch a sample from her and didn't jump out of the box and get freaked out. Some of you may think that's TMI, but that's what I'm grateful for. What are you grateful for this week? Thank you so much for listening to My Views Extended. You can find this podcast on my website, nadiadanella.com, the namesake of My Views Extended. You can also find it on SoundCloud and on YouTube. I will have those links and others as they are added in the show notes. I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments. What are some of your favorite Christmas traditions that you love, that you hate? Are you trying to make new ones of your own? If you don't celebrate Christmas, what do you do for your time off, if you have time off? And I'd also like to hear, what are you grateful for this week? Thanks, and I'll see you next time.